And in that case, that safe period is considerably unsafe for them because it is women who are trying to adopt the natural birth control methods can actually track their menstrual cycles and have sex with their partners or their husbands during their most unfertile or their safest days of the menstrual cycle. As you may know, fertility rises and falls during the menstrual cycle of a woman, and that is why in this video I'm going to be sharing the safest periods of the menstrual cycle when a woman can have sex with her husband or a partner and not be scared of getting pregnant, But before then, I'd like to state that when an egg develops in the ovaries, in a woman's ovaries, and the egg is released into the fallopian, it matures and is released into the fallopian tube. That egg can actually last up to 24 hours in the fallopian tube, waiting for a spermatozoa to come and fertilize it. Whereas a sperm, on the other hand, can actually last up to 7 good days. That's amazing. Can last up to 7 days in the fallopian tube, waiting for an egg that it's going to fertilize. And that's why you may hear of stories like somebody having sex about 5 days before their ovulation and still getting pregnant. You get. So the first period a woman can explore is during the menstruation period, like when you are bleeding, when you are having the menstrual bleeding. That sounds really dirty, right? I know. But if your husband is comfortable with it and you as a person, as an individual, you are equally comfortable with it, you can use that period to have unlimited sex with your husband, and you won't have to worry about getting pregnant. But if you are not comfortable with that period, there are other periods that are safe. So stay tuned and watch till the end. A lot of people have read and have heard that safe period is like 5 or 7 days immediately after your menstruation, like after you stop your menstrual bleeding. Those few days after are safe period. But then I'd like to state here that a woman's average menstrual cycle is 28 days. But for some women, their menstrual cycles are shorter than 28 days, like less than 28 days. And for this category of women, their ovulation actually happens earlier than other people. And in that case, that safe period is considerably unsafe for them because it is at that period that they are most likely going to be ovulating. And if they have unprotected sex with their husband or their partners during that presumably safe period, then they can easily get pregnant. But for women whose menstrual cycles are longer than 28 days, at 28 days or longer, then you can maximize that period. Like 5 days post menstruation is considered safe for you, and the chances of getting pregnant during that period is very low. So if you don't know your menstrual cycle, or you're looking for ways to calculate your menstrual cycle, or your menstrual cycle is irregular, then this method might not really work for you. You might be considering downloading an app to track your ovulation, to track your fertile windows, to track your menstruation. So I'll leave in the description some of the ovulation trackers, menstruation trackers that you can make use of. Do well to check them out. The third safest period is your pre-menstruation period. For me, I would say 5 days before your menstruation starts. So if you know your menstrual cycle, if you're sure about the days of your menstrual cycle, you can maximize about 5 days before your menstruation and have unlimited safe sex with your husband or your partner during that period, and not be really bothered about getting pregnant or not, because that period in time, the eggs are really ready to get ruptured and the uterus are really getting prepared to collapse, and they start menstrual bleeding. So you can maximize that period also. But if your menstruation is not regular, you might want to consider combining this safe period with some other natural methods of birth control, which I discussed in some of my videos earlier. Please check that video out, then you can be rest assured that you are safe. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. I told you I'm not here to mess around, and you've been acting